by Ruhi Sinet, the GOAT. Visiting the coldest city in the world. Minus 71 Celsius or negative 96 degrees Fahrenheit? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yakutsk or Yakutia. Let's go.
Siri, what is the temperature?
It's minus 47 degrees
Good
outside.
lord.
Air temperature in Antarctica is negative 14.8 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 20 degrees Celsius. Here it is negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 47 degrees Celsius.
You know, I'm always one for a colder environment. I'd rather live in winter than be in summer. But I don't know if I can handle this cold. This cold is kind of absurd. My sweet spot for temperature is usually around like 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
The weather here is very cold and dry. There is a large population living, approximately 300,000 inhabitants. Yakutsk is the capital of Sakha Republic, an autonomous region that is allied with Russia, 280 miles away from the North Pole.
Damn.
Since this place is the most northeastern point of Siberia, it is very much isolated from the rest of the world. Outside temperature is around negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The boiling water is about 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
The boiling water is 100 Celsius?
As you see, it instantly turns into ice crystals.
Whoa, hold on.
Fahrenheit.
That's
The boiling
crazy,
water is
what?
about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. As you see, it instantly
Yeah, it just turns into powder.
The lowest air temperature ever measured in this region is negative 96.16 degrees Fahrenheit. It is as if it belongs to another planet. A banana left outside can turn into a hammer.
Holy shit.
People cannot wear metal frame glasses here because the metal could stick to their skin. And if they wanted to take off
That is
the
true.
glasses, their flesh might be chewed out.
Wait. Okay, if that applies to normal metal glasses, what if they wore contacts and it was attached to the surface of their eye? Would the contact freeze with the folds in the eye itself? Or freeze onto the eye? Or maybe is there like so much heat generated that it just doesn't freeze at all? Because it's probably pretty hard for a person who needs some sort of vision impairment help here. I never quite really thought about that. That's interesting.
See, these are natural gas pipes and they have to be laid above the ground because the underground is frozen with ice. There is actually a 100-foot thick mass of ice under the city. Look, this river is completely frozen. During the Soviet era, people who contradicted Stalin's ideas were exiled to Sakha Republic region. They were politicians, businessmen, etc. As a matter of fact,
All types of
these
people, huh?
who live in Yakutsk right now are their grandchildren. So
Oh, that's
this
crazy.
used to be land of exile. Today there is a city life going on. But we could call this life an ice hell. It pushes the limits of human nature. No matter how much we bundle up, nothing is enough to keep our bodies warm.
That's pretty scary to think about.
If you have a car here, you have a big problem. Winter lasts for 6
The engine's gonna
months,
freeze.
and in that time, you can never drive your car. If you insist
Oh,
on
wow.
driving it, you can never stop your vehicle's engine. For example, the car with a running engine you can see here is empty. There is nobody inside. There are hundreds of cars like this. The reason why the engine is running, if it stops, it can be completely
Yeah, it's gonna
covered with ice,
freeze.
and the engine
And
oil
it's
will
fucking
freeze.
cooked.
As you can see, the owner of
Oh, the
vehicle
engine oil
decided
itself,
to
huh?
run his or her car for a while. Just after 20 minutes of the engine being off, it is common to give up
Holy
hope.
shit.
Another frozen car here, waiting to be reused next summer. This car is running, right? Let's see if there's anybody inside. Yeah, nobody. Can you imagine what a huge base of energy this actually is? Fortunately,
Big.
Russia is a country that is quite rich in oil and natural gas resources. Even the exhaust smoke freezes. That's how cold it is.
Wow.
There are special covers for protection. Sometimes this is not enough too. People who can afford it keep their vehicles in a heated garage. Because these vehicles are
Nah, they actually got heated garages, dude.
keep their vehicles.
Okay. Yeah, I would not like to live here. As much as I like cold weather, this is actually genuinely absurd.
Heated garage. Because these vehicles are constantly running, there is a constant layer of exhaust smoke over the city. Range of visibility is often below 200 feet.
And then it's like bad to inhale
The
too, right?
buildings here have completely different architecture. The reason why
Oh,
the
yeah.
buildings are built on pillars is that the ground is covered with ice, and there is a
It's
possibility
unstable.
of ice shift.
Yeah.
Start to lean over after a decade or so because the amount of ice either increases or decreases.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like pins and needles. The worst thing that could happen is to get frostbite. Considering a refrigerator operates at about 40 degrees
Bro, there's literally frost forming on his eyelashes, bro. This is crazy.
Fahrenheit. A freezer operates at about negative.
This don't even feel real.
Since the temperature here is negative 50.
Like, this actually exists on Earth.
Everywhere you can see here could function as a very high-tech freezer. That's why some people are able to store their fruits or their meats just by hanging them outside their windows. Can I make a sled out of this?
Wow. But with things becoming more frozen, some objects, because of their properties, become more brittle and fragile too, huh?
My gloves for just a minute.
That's what I'd figure.
Now it hurts terribly. My eyelashes are frozen too. I'm trying to break the ice. Move. Move. If you would stay outside for more than 15 minutes, you would experience problems such as skin burns and difficulty in breathing.
Skin burns?
Chill that starts with a needle prick
Like, cold burns is fucking wild.
and then it could result in death. She took off her gloves for just 5 minutes to film me. Her fingertips instantly turned white.
Oh my god.
Is giving a red warning. It is not working properly. The camera is also not working as it should. Its cover is frozen. Our phones don't work as well. Her battery was about 10% a couple of minutes ago, and then it suddenly died, whereas it was actually full. What you see behind me is a cemetery.
Wow.
The thickness of the ice under my shoes is about
How do you live in these conditions?
and this ice mass under the city does not melt even in the summer. So, how do people bury the dead? They gather pieces of coal and burn them for 2 to 3 days. Once the coal is burned, the blocks of ice thaw, and it can be easily
They
removed.
thaw and
using
then...
shovels.
Okay.
Finally, the area can be excavated.
That's burdensome.
Depths of 6 to 7 feet. The body of a person who died 100 or 200 years ago can be found very robust even today.
Diamond store?
20% of the world's total diamond reserves are in Yakutsk. In
Really?
addition to that, there are also all the elements in the periodic table. There are many mammoth and dinosaur fossils under the Yakutia territories,
I guess that would make sense.
where mammoths once roamed. Their intact corpses still show up as the ice melts today.
Wow.
In this land where people cannot engage in agriculture or farming, people eat fish. One of the most important features of this market is that they display the fish in public stalls rather than in refrigerators. Outside is much colder than any refrigerator. A piece of meat left outside won't spoil for months.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to spoil shit that's frozen rock solid.
The ducks. Horse meat is also very common. It is about 45 pounds. They take this fish as a whole, put it outside and consume it for days. This one is also on sale. It never...
That's a whole cow's head, bro.
Its ears are not moving at all. How many hours do you work here for a day?
Ну, мы примерно вот 8 числа,
For how long does she do this?
уже, наверное, лет.
How many layers of clothing upper body?
Wow. That's 4 layers.
И вот такие на эти.
Holy shit.
They stand on such furs, they do not feel the cold coming to their feet. Yakutian people, who make up the majority of the population, are Turkic in origin. 38% of its population are Russian in origin.
Interesting.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, so would they defrost the fish or just eat it as is?
Cannot survive. Only mammals with a
Cats
really
can't
thick
survive?
There are 2 layers of glass inside the
Damn,
glass.
bruh.
So when the air conditioner warms the interior, it doesn't lose its temperature immediately. The scariest thing about being on the road is that people whose cars break down have a risk of dying if they cannot fix it within 30 minutes. Otherwise, engine oil under the hood freezes in minutes. If people get stranded in these rural areas with no phone signal, they have no choice but to freeze to death within a couple of hours. That's why every driver carries a toolbox in his or her car. Our journey to the village was completed with a dog sled ride.
A dog sled ride? How many huskies? Like 15?
On the dog sled, I nearly lost an ear that was exposed to the wind and the
An
cold.
ear?
The pain was unbearable.
What?
Maria just accepted us to her village house. We're gonna know more about these mysterious Yakut people. Can you see it? As thick as my finger. I cannot feel it. It's quite.
Oh, wow.
Look, my other ear.
It's swelled.
Horses here are much shorter than the usual horses.
Yo, those horses,
Their bodies are conditioned.
they're
to
cute as
be
shit.
cold.
What?
That's how they can keep themselves warmer. Less surface area to.
That's evolution for you, I guess.
Their own clothes.
They're stubby.
Build up. You can tell by looking at the frozen boat that we're walking on a frozen lake. We try to hit it at a 90-degree angle. We just drill a 20 to 25 inch diameter hole. Cows will come and meet their water needs. We're constantly removing the ice. How long it takes for this water to again completely covered with ice?
About 5 minutes.
Cows
Oh, 1
in
hour.
the village are always kept in the barns in winter.
Oh, they're actual cows? Bro, it must be hella cold for their feet.
They don't ever feel cold.
They do, of course. That's why they don't spend much time outside.
What's exactly?
Ice cold water.
Got frostbitten. If like it lasted longer, it will be very dangerous.
They will have to cut it, right?
If they cannot save it, they can cut it because the cells are dead. For your ear, it's a traditional Yakut medicine. Fat of bear.
Bear?
Yeah.
Bear fat.
Took it from hunters.
Oh.
Yes, this will help frostbitten, and also if you burn it.
If you look at it from behind, you'll see it more clearly. It is seriously swollen.
Yeah.
I call it frostbite.
Ridiculously
I
swollen.
would probably have risked my entire ear if I had been in the cold for more than 15 minutes. The nature has no joke here. What is the coldest temperature you have ever witnessed?
The coldest temperature is negative 71 Celsius.
Wow.
If I have good clothes, if I have enough clothes, before negative 40 it's not like real winter temperature for me. Negative 41, negative 48, it's like fine. Below negative 40.
Like, this feels like a dystopian game.
And below
But not, this is real life for some people.
and every degree feels. The funny thing is like cold weather feels like fire, like burning.
Yeah, that's true. Now my ear is
Yeah.
burning.
Yeah.
I feel it's so hot.
Sometimes people drink too much and they fall asleep somewhere outside.
And they die.
One night outside. Yeah. Some people didn't have proper clothes and they went to the woods and their car broke down. They couldn't call someone because
The
no
phones.
service. Yeah, and it ended.
What do you think about nature?
Whole lifestyle of Yakut people, of Saha people, is taking care of nature, respecting it. Early childhood, me and my family, we used to go to the woods to fish, to hunt. It's just a part of our life. And we always remember that we are not the owners of this land. We are just guests.
Inhabitants.
We always make a ritual. When we go to pick some berries, we always take a little food with us. We leave it on the ground and say, nature, please share with us. Please give us some food. It's for the master of that land.
I see.
You believe
That's interesting.
nature has a spirit.
Yeah. For example, when we go to the forest, you shouldn't speak loud because you can disturb.
Yeah, that's true.
You shouldn't drink there, have fun there, throw the garbage. Don't disturb, don't destroy. Yakut religion is not.
Don't bother, don't disturb, don't destroy.
Book or there is a church. Like there is one center of our religion, but it's not something that, like in other religions, that we do every day. We should pray. We don't do something like that. But it's in our mind. It's in
Nah.
our lifestyle. And it's
That's
all
a really, really powerful thing.
nature.
For what you have,
What's that?
thank to nature
Yeah.
instead of God.
The gods are
Is that a rabbit?
nature. Yeah.
Mhm.
Our gods are like part of the nature.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
Why don't you migrate to south? Why it's warmer? Because living in these temperatures is like torture.
Yeah. When do they?
It's torture for you, but not for us.
They've
First
become
thing,
accustomed to it.
My family is here, and for
Yeah,
me,
family.
the best is to be close to my parents, to my brothers, and secondly, I like the nature here. It's very pure. Like the
Yeah,
ecology
it's
is
pretty
very
damn
pure.
beautiful.
For me and for my like future children, breathing fresh air, it's very important. Third, because of our culture, I want to preserve our language, our traditions, and give them to the next generations.
Yakutsk has summers
Mm.
as well. In July, the average daily temperature is about 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Due to global warming, ice mass of our world is
Their summers, my
corpses are coming up.
it's my prime temperatures, bro. What the fuck?
Thousands of years, which modern humans have never met before.
This is actually so wild.
When Europeans migrated to North America, the flu they took with themselves to the continent killed most of the Native Americans who had been isolated for centuries. The flu didn't kill us because our immune system was strong. Similarly, ancient diseases to which we are not immune can come to light with the melting of the ice in these regions of the world and have devastating consequences.
Mm.
Thank you for watching. This video was the first episode of a
Hey,
travel
bruh.
documentary series called Rediscovery.
This was a crazy video. The lives that they lead in this type of unimaginable temperature to the majority of us is actually very, very crazy. Very informational.
喜べ少年